modern day parents are struggling to take good care of their infants nowadays. And considering deaf parents, they cannot hear a child's cry. So it's quite difficult for them too. And for a infant, the only way to communicate is via crying. So we are developing infant care solutions so that we could help modern day parents or deaf parents or underprivileged parents. And we're also trying to detect neurological disorders, because in India specifically there is no early detection of these neurological problems, and hence there is no early intervention. So first of all, we have cry type detection. So what we basically do is we take an audio file, we input that audio file, and we extract around 47 features like RMS energy, zero crossing rate mean, spectral contrast mean, bandwidth mean, and lots of other features, one of them being Mel frequency substitute coefficient, which is again distributed into 13 categories. Then we're also calculating the first derivative, the second derivative, and like that we have 13, 8, total 47 features that we are extracting out of single audio file of crime. Then we have used random forest classifier and trained this model. So upon examination of these 47 features, we are classifying the type of crying into 5 categories: hunger, burping, belly pain, tiredness, and discomfort.
So this is our interface, and if we click on detect cry, we would be inputting an audio file here. Let's just say Hungary, take an audio file from Hungary and predict cry type, and it would pre-process and extract those features, and on examination it would predict the cry type. As you can see, it has predicted correctly. And if we take another one from burping, it would extract the features again and predict the cry type.
Next up, we have an infant care AI chatbot, which will only respond to queries that are related to infant care, and it wouldn't answer to the queries that are totally unrelated to infant care, such as being what the score between India versus Pakistan. It wouldn't answer. And as you know, autism is really difficult to detect in infants. It is easily detectable in kids who are more than 10 years old or in adults, but it is very difficult to detect autism in infants. So we have developed 2 solutions here. One that we've adapted from a research paper, in which the parent could just answer a list of 23 questions. Questions such as, does your child respond when you call out the name? Does your child look where you are pointing in any direction? So that, like that, we have around 23 questions, and if like distributed into 3 types of score: 0 to 4, it's low risk; 5 to 9, moderate risk, in which they would be forwarded to a follow-up question, and if the score is more than 10, that is a high risk of autism, so they could contact a doctor. We've also developed another solution, that is geometrical preference test. What happens is, for a normal kid, if I'm talking, the area of focus for a normal kid would be somewhere here. So what I'm trying to say is, for a normal kid, the area of focus lies into social elements like faces or cartoons, the faces in those cartoons, babies, humans. That's what the area of focus is for normal kids. And let's just say for a kid with autism. For a kid with autism, their area of focus would be more prone to geometrical figures. Like, let's just say at the right side there is a geometrical video playing, and the left side that there is a series of baby videos. So a kid with autism would be more prone to these geometrical videos, these videos of kaleidoscope, rather than the social elements. The kids with autism are more prone to non-social elements like geometrical figures rather than these social elements.
So this is our implementation. At the right side we have geometrical videos, at the left side we have a series of baby videos. So we have used OpenCV and MediaPipe to do a computer vision test, in which the baby would be placed around 2 to 3 feet from the screen, and if the baby persists to look at the right side of the screen, in this case for more than 70% of the time, that is a possible indicator of autism.
Next up, we have helping hands. Considering India, there are a lot of underprivileged parties in India, underprivileged families who cannot afford to provide resources for their infants. So we are basically connecting them to NGOs or child welfare centers that are present in their city or district. Last but not the least, we have cerebral palsy detection. So what happens in cerebral palsy? These infants might have motor dysfunctionalities. So let's just say a kid with around 4 to 5 months of old, they cannot make a fist, and if they can, that is a possible sign of cerebral palsy. And let's just say symmetry, shoulder symmetry. If the infant persists to have their shoulders quite asymmetric for a longer duration of time, that is again a possible sign. So we have developed a test using again OpenCV and MediaPipe, where we like if there persists fisting for more than 75% of the time, it detects possible signs of cerebral palsy. And if there is shoulder asymmetry for more than 70% of the time, that is again a possible sign of cerebral palsy.
Coming back to the implementation part, these are the instructions that the parents need to follow. And as you can see, we are taking shoulders and fingers as the key points here. So this is how we are detecting shoulder asymmetry or fisting.
So altogether, we are trying to help parents so that they could good care of their infants. And considering we don't want parents to be overly anxious or unaware about the things that their infants could go through. So altogether at Cryonics, we are developing cry tap detection so that deaf parents or modern parents who are finding difficulty in understanding why the baby is crying, so with using our tools, they could identify the reason for their crying. And as an infant care chatbot, they could solve out the queries, helping hands for underprivileged families to connect them to NGOs and neurological problems. These don't get easily detected early on. And since there is no early detection, there is no early intervention. So we are providing early autism and early cerebral palsy detection so that there could be early intervention and we could help these infants solve these problems and reduce stress for parents.